Welcome to this review for the Sugess Panda Chronograph featuring the ST1901 Seagull movement. Obviously this is a Chinese watch and it's quite well regarded, the movement as well. I've covered this on the blog, theowrist.com. Let's take a better look at this, a closer look at this Sugess Panda 38mm chronograph hand winding movement, and it says so on the dial there. We've got Sugess chronograph, mechanical winding, no spelling mistakes, which is always welcome. In terms of the size, 38, it's a good size. I think the dial being two colours and the seconds track around the outside in black does hinder the overall look of the watch a bit, because it is small and that makes it look even smaller in terms of the white area of the dial. It's not too bad though, I think that's just something I picked up on. You can get the bigger versions, of course. It's quite wearable. Obviously at 38mm you want to think that it appeals to the skinnier wristed of us, which I did think, though the lugs you can see are quite long, and it comes in at 47.5 lug to lug, which is almost 5mm for each lug, which is too much. If you're trying to create a compact watch, then you've got to bear that in mind. They do curve inwards to help them sit on the wrist, which does help. Let's take a look at the business side of things. This is something these Sugess watches are known for, and some of the other Chinese brands that use the Seagull movement. This is the Seagull 1901 movement, and it's interesting to look at. It adds another dimension to the watch, as I always say that an open case back can do. I think, you know, it's unnecessary sometimes, but when you've got a hand winding chronograph movement, and this is an entry-level watch, I picked it up for £172, I think, which is $200 or so. Why wouldn't you want this? Why wouldn't you want this if you want to learn about watches and you want to see the movement? There's nothing wrong with it, so those haters should just consider that. You know, it's nothing special, but it is nice and it is useful. It's a great way to learn, especially if you're new to the watch obsession thing. So if we hit the chronograph, you'll see the clutch disengage and the central wheel start to spin. There it is. And so that is the chronograph hand movement. So let's address one of the big things about this while you enjoy the case back. A bit of light going on there. Look at that does look good. You can't argue with that. I suppose you can. But, you know, one of the main issues with these watches and why there is hate is that the reliability and the quality control isn't always as it should be, which is really a shame, because people are disappointed. They're looking forward to their new watches. Everybody loves that, the horological rapture when it comes to opening a new watch, and it's so disappointing when, you know, whether it's straight away or after a day or so, that you realize that there's something wrong. I've had a few comments, not many views on my videos, early days, no big deal, but I have had people telling me about their issues with a number of different Chinese movements, which is, it's just such a shame. I wish they would just take a bit more care. They're doing this to make money. If they took a bit more care, they would make a lot more money. The feedback would be a lot better. But I think overall, a lot of people have had good experiences with these. It's just a shame that some people haven't.
Let's stop that. You can see things moving, and the chronograph is reset.
So we can see the chronograph doing the rounds here, and there's nothing wrong with it. It works fine. I haven't had any issues. Obviously chronographs, do we use them? Will we use them? Who knows? It's just something nice to have, especially when you get to see the movement working in the background behind that display case back. The issue I have with this one, especially compared to the Moonphase Master, is that the pushers for the chronograph are a little... This one, the stop-start, not bad. Feels good. You get a good click. There's a nice amount of resistance. And, it's not going to feel like a El Primero, but it just should have something to it, right? So stop-start is good. The reset, however, there is a click, which is nice, but it just feels a little spongy. The bad points about this watch are the strap, which is fixable. The lugs, a little long, not the end of the world, but an issue for some, potentially. The quality of the pushers, not the end of the world, they work, which is the most important thing. And the dial being quite small and then being split into the black and white around the edge, which is obviously the desired look and effect for a Panda, but it doesn't have to be. They could have went another way with it, but obviously they are homaging. There's a Brighton Premier and a tag that look extremely similar to this. Obviously this has taken its cues from them, but generally for a mechanical chronograph at under £200, I'm not sure what the price is these days. I will put it on the screen and I'll have a look. But I don't give scores, but I will say that if there's just the if on the quality, which is a shame. I would. A lot of places nowadays are importing these, so you can buy them from the country. You'll have somebody reselling them, maybe at a premium on eBay or from their website. So I would say to give this a try. If you're interested, if you're intrigued, make sure you buy from a reputable seller. I've had no issues returning any watches ever, to be fair, and I've only returned one to AliExpress, and it was a reasonably smooth, as you'd expect, experience. They asked me to test, they gave me some guidelines, try this. When it didn't work, they happily refunded. So, these days, I think it's worth a shot. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. There will be more on the way, and hopefully there will be a little improved each time as I learn the ropes, but I'll be sharing more watches from my collection and other bits and bobs. Stay tuned. Thanks very much.